Such an honor, such a pleasure. We back at it. You know what it is. It's Nick Cannon Radio here at Power 106. And we in the presence of greatness. We in the presence of a queen. Man, I feel like every time I see her, she just keeps shining, keep elevating to new heights. Saweetie in the building. What's poppin'?
What's up, Nick?
You know, we alive. We in here. We in person. We talking.
I'm so happy to be in person. I'm tired of the Zoom rooms.
Real talk. You know, like, and it's, I don't know, I think it's some type of connection or I would say you're probably, I don't believe in luck, but you're my alignment charm because you were my first interview here at this station, and now you're my first in-person interview.
Wow.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, so it's a big thing. So all of that good energy and good vibrations you put off, you know, we just gonna keep taking that. So congratulations first and foremost. I mean,
Thank you.
it's funny. I mean, and I had this conversation a lot where we talk about, you know, who really here to stay, who really like is a fixture in the game, and you know how this game goes early on, especially when you know had the first big hit. People like, oh, she too pretty to be a rapper. She this. Oh, that's the one hit wonder. You proved everyone wrong and proved me right. Because I was one of them people was like, yo, she here. And we've talked about this in the past, too, because a lot of people probably have judged you just based off of like, oh, that's just another pretty girl doing music. And not only are you so much more than that, you've shown that through all of your platforms, but even like your education and all of that. But what is the secret to the sauce to like now that you're here and have surpassed so many others and proven so many people want?
I think what really puts me in my own lane is just the business. Like I'm a college graduate, so
facts, talk your shit.
Like I love music, and music is the foundation. But because the Icy umbrella, like it houses not only music but fashion and beauty, philanthropy now because I just started my own nonprofit with my grandmother.
Yeah.
I think that's just what makes the business that much bigger.
Nah, that's fly too, and you talk that talk and you stand by it, you stay solid with it, and even when you say like you expanding under the Icy umbrella, like I'm hearing about this Icy University, like you are putting everyone up on game in a real way. I mean, to be someone graduate USC, right? Like, so first of all, anybody who knows to graduate USC, they ain't no fucking joke.
Right.
like that's, you gotta be one to even get into USC. You gotta be real, but to graduate, go all the way. I commend you on that. But then to even flip it on the entertainment side, and now to have your own university, but you got to break it down because I saw a couple of things that your curriculum is quite interesting. What can one learn when they enroll at Icy University?
Well, the first semester we talked about how to start a business. I feel like that kind of speaks for itself. But I do have controversial topics like
I saw.
like how to bag an 8-figure man. But you know, it's a little bit of clickbait. It's a little bit of mixture of the both. But when you actually engage in the curriculum, I'm saying you are what you attract.
Right.
So you can't attract an 8-figure man if you're being lazy,
Yeah.
if you have no ambition, if you have no goals. So if you get into the bag, you're gonna attract a man who's getting into the bag as well. So it's like all my icy girls out there getting to the money will attract some type of figure man.
Now, like, because again, like you're very unapologetic about how you move, and because you know your intellect is at a high level, you can bob and weave when you need to. But knowing someone like yourself, where there probably has to be an interesting dichotomy of like Saweetie the entertainer, who's you know all about being icy and bagging 8-figure niggas. But then there's the educated side of Saweetie who understands like, yo, there's a responsibility out here that I have to actually stand firm in. And it is all about, you know, women empowerment at the end of the day. And you stand firm for your culture. You stand for being a diverse woman. I've seen you speak on those levels. How you balance that?
Balance in what way?
In the sense of like you talk your shit, you could be as the title of your upcoming album is Pretty Bitch Music, but then at the same time, you know, you are someone who has a great responsibility to the community.
I think it's a mixture of living my truth, but also being hyper aware that I do have a lot of men and women who look up to not just me, but just the brand. Like I motivate, I inspire. I remember this young lady who was catering this event this past weekend. She pulled me aside and she was like, you helped me get through 2 years of rehab. So like it's moments like that where I do realize that I have some form of responsibility. And I always tell people, like, the ice, the fame, the money is cool, but if I could inspire or change someone's life, that's when I feel like I did my job.
Mm.
Hmm.
So, understanding your purpose, you
Yep.
know what I mean? Walking in your
Purpose
purpose.
and intention.
Yeah. So, is that's something you could pick up on at Icy University? I take it. Those are the gems that you dropping.
That, and then we actually did so well that Facebook and Oculus is actually sponsoring the next semester, which will come out in a couple of weeks.
Fly shit. So now you're also on the cover of Complex magazine with so many other covers, but just that's your latest one.
Mm-hmm.
Is that big for you? Like when first of all, it's fly, like the whole the color scheme and all that stuff. But that like Complex, that's one of those ones. Like when you can be on that. I mean, I think I did Complex early on, but that's still to this day like one of my favorite covers, and kind of because I know that's like a real curator space.
Mm-hmm.
Like so when they kind of crown you like that had to mean something.
Yeah, Complex is historical and beauty and fashion and music and other things as well. So when they put me on the cover and named me Content Queen, I really had to take a moment and I had to digest everything me and my team has done.
Yeah.
And it's just like, wow, we're really on our way. So shout out to Complex because it was such an honor to be on the cover.
And like Content Queen, we gotta talk your content for a minute. Like you be on there going crazy, redoing movies, music videos. Like, are those your concepts? Are those like, and how do you choose? Like, all right, this is what we gonna do to break the internet next.
It's definitely a team effort. I do have a lot of like a laundry list of things I want to execute, but I also have a team that helps me execute these things. So,
Yeah.
sometimes I take their advice and I take their suggestions, and we just make that magic happen.
And clearly, throughout your enterprise under the Icy umbrella, you're a boss. Like it's very apparent. You know what I mean? But having to manage that, even when we talking off air, you just like, yo, it's constantly busy. When do you get to just have time for Saweetie and take the boss hat off for a moment and just chill? Like, when's the last time that's happened?
I don't know.
Is it just boss status all the time?
I feel like I'm in a special point in my career where I have to make every move my best move. So I'm just so addicted to just being better and to growing and to executing. So I do admit that I need to do a better job at taking days off, but I don't.
Keep cooking while the pot is hot.
I know that's right.
So, but one thing I do notice where every time I see you move, and just knowing like family infrastructure is important to you. So like you've taken your family on a journey with you. You always big up your pops. You always big up, your mom. Like, which we don't see that a lot. That importance is that what keeps you grounded, and are you as the boss status starts to elevate or continues to elevate, are you finding yourself not getting a chance to spend as much time with the family?
I definitely don't get a lot of time to spend with my family, but I think one thing I struggled with is like I'm like the baby girl of the family. So I was babied a lot as a child, and I had to realize that as I become a boss, as I become bigger with my career, I'm no longer a little girl. I think I kind of had that epiphany last year where it's just like I gotta start, being the leader. So I think it was a great transition for me, and it really made me start taking a lot of accountability. So I'm sad that I can't spend so much time with my family, but I'm happy that I'm able to put them in position to win. So that's something that I feel accomplished when it comes to that.
Many accomplishments. So what you excited about? Like just off top, like I know you got so many things on the horizon, but like what do you wake up and like, yo, I'm about to get to this today? Like what's on the horizon that you can't wait to accomplish?
Honestly, one thing as of lately, and someone even said something about like my energy shifting. One thing that I would love to accomplish is just being grateful in the moment. Like I shot being present. Like I shot a really big campaign these past 2 days, and on set I found myself getting irritated because I was sleepy and I was tired, and I'm like, you work so hard to get into this moment. Why are you self-sabotaging by allowing your natural human emotions to overcome you? But I was like, you know what? Give the director, give the team, give this moment its its attention because it's not going to be here forever. So it's like I'm really working on just self, you know, self. I don't even know what you call it.
But it sounds like a lot of self-reflection. Like I commend you in the sense that where it takes a big person to be able to step back and say, hey, I'm not appreciating this moment for what it is, or I've worked so hard to get here. Let me just relax in it in a moment. And I've also seen or heard, I know we reported this, that like even you're aware enough to be like, yo, I might have to go step back and get a little staycation and focus in on being a better artist and locking in. Like, where did that come from to where you said, you know what, I need to take a step back and just go perfect my craft, work on things that I want to be better at?
And that's why PBM keeps getting pushed back.
Understand, nothing wrong with that,
right? Well, a wise man once said, "I'm in no rush to fail." So, when I say these things, I feel like I've done such a great job with branding that it's taken me to other places that consume my time. But the reason why I'm here is because of the art of music. So I really want to, every time I hit the stage, every time y'all see me live, I want to give y'all, what y'all are paying for or what y'all are expecting of me. I always want to reach a certain standard. So I just realized that I needed time to work on stuff like that.
And I mean, I commend you in that sense because a lot of people can't step up and say that they realize that, yo, I want to be the best I could possibly be. And everybody is waiting for PBM. And is it one of those things where, because clearly you're not stopping with the content, you're not stopping with the music, you keep going platinum, dropping singles and stuff. Is it just more of the timing of like your offering has to be perfect, or is it a business sense of like, is it a creative choice, or is it a business sense of like, no, if we do this because I got this coming up, I know I'm gonna go number one, or is it like, no, I don't want to give this to my fans until I believe it's perfect?
I think it's a little bit of both. I feel like if you do something, you got to do it to its best capacity. So I don't want to release a body of work that everybody's so excited about, and if I feel like it's not good, if it's not sitting well within my soul, then I can't release it. So I think it's both of the things. Because I think me being happy about it will transfer to the public being happy about it. But me rushing it, me just turning it in because there's some invisible or imaginary deadline, which there's not because it keeps getting pushed back, then I can't release it until I'm satisfied.
Now, it sounds like you're very in tune with what you want to accomplish and what brings you joy and happiness. How important is outside opinions, whether we call them fans, whether we call them haters, whether we call them the general public? Like, how important is that in your daily process? Because I've seen you interact with people online, but you still do it in a way where it's like you said what you said, you're gonna say what you say, but and people don't understand, like, this game is it's not for the weak. You know what I mean? Like, if you ain't strong within who you are, it could eat you alive, just even emotionally. So are you affected, or how important is just others, the public?
I think constructive criticism is important. I think it's important for growth. But I think that the reason why I'm so hyper aware is because there was a point in time where I was working so hard where it kind of felt like a hamster wheel. But I was saying yes to everything because me thinking just be a hard worker and just do what you got to do, I was saying yes to everything, not realizing that I have control of my life and I have control over my schedule. So if I want to say no, I can do that. But in the beginning, I just felt so much pressure to say yes to everything. But then I was running myself low. I was running my energy low. I wasn't protecting my peace. So for that, I just say that to say that it's important to say no, and it's important to just be aware of what you want to accomplish, because an offer may sound good, but if it isn't helping with what you have going on in that moment, then don't do it. Not every look is a good look.
Wise words right there. So I'd have to say this too, like, what's the number one misconception about you, in your opinion?
I get this question asked a lot.
Oh shit! I thought I'm asking some fly shit. This is something people always ask.
No, I think it's a great question that I never really am able to answer.
I mean, because there's a lot of we've had the conversation before about like just being the prettiest rapper ever and like embracing the name of your upcoming album is Pretty Bitch Music, like, and I salute that because even as somebody as a music exec, I personally I was like I never signed pretty people because I feel like sometimes they're hard to relate to because like, yo, she's so gorgeous, like it's hard for the average person to tap in. So it's like being that every time we see you fly in a motherfucker, like that has to be like, it has to, at some time it has to kind of create some type of like, no, I want you to really know the real me. And I've seen things in interviews and stuff where you're like, I love my nose and all of that. You know what I'm like? You say real shit. And I'm like, oh, wow, I'm pretty sure that she would love to emphasize that more, but she got to hold up the pretty persona because that's the brand.
Well, I think the biggest misconception of what pretty is the face value of it. And that's the reason why I campaign for Pretty Bitch Music is because there is even before I came into the game, just for pretty people, period. And there are some pretty people who do abuse whatever privilege they're given. But
there's definitely pretty privilege.
Right. But it's just like, but for me, honestly, throughout my whole life, even in elementary school, middle school, high school, for me, pretty was kind of like it was kind of, how do I say this? It wasn't a privilege for me. I was judged. Rumors were made up about me. And it was kind of always working against me. And it's just like, for me, I never thought of pretty as glamorizing my existence as a human being. So when I say Pretty Bitch Music, I'm not talking about your face. I'm talking about your aura. I'm talking about your energy.
Right, okay.
I'm talking about your self-esteem.
You have pretty energy?
Yeah. Ain't nobody want no stank, ugly energy.
It is the opposite of ugly. Like, so somebody...
Right, but when I say pretty, I think the biggest misconception is people thinking about fashion or your ice or your jewelry or your makeup. But for me, pretty is like your confidence. I love me a confident woman.
There it is. So good. But it's funny and you tap into that because I call a lot of that stuff is like PGP, pretty girl problems. And I feel like there are some things that people who are classified as pretty that have to deal with certain things. And entertainers, it's attention. You know what I mean? And it's how you deal with that attention. And clearly you sound like, all your life you've gotten that level of attention, but you've been able to find a balance. What's your advice to the people, especially the young women that want to be pretty or don't feel so pretty or don't know how to deal with those insecurities and those things, even if they're attractive, but they're still, they feel ugly on the inside? Like, what's your advice to those people?
I think everything just comes down to self. Like, my confidence doesn't come from my looks. My confidence comes from being on Forbes 30 Under 30, from my platinum records, from being able to pay my own bills, pay my own rent, not ask for handouts. Like, for me, my confidence comes from things that I'm good at.
Right.
So it's like, if you feel ugly or whatever you want to call, whatever other word correlates with that, I think it's an internal battle. Like, I think people who can paint, people who are athletic, people who break records, even that young lady, the track star, like, I was watching her interviews after she won, like, her being so happy of all that hard work she accomplished. Like, you could just see her vibration. It was exuding, and I felt it through the screen, and I received it. Like, women like that are so dope to me. So I think it goes beyond your beauty and what you're wearing.
The
like,
surface level.
What are you good at?
Yeah.
What are you great at? What are you excellent at? What are you a pro at?
Right.
That's what really matters.
And you feel like that would be your advice to somebody who's like, yo, I look up to Saweetie. Like, and it's not.
But that's the problem with these phones. People are on their phones all day, and they're unhappy because they see people.
They're comparing lives.
But you can't compare from the couch.
Okay.
You can't
talk that talk.
But you can't do that. You gotta. If you're like, I've never seen someone who was who was embracing their life in a way where they were working towards their goals and they were perfecting their weaknesses, which what I was doing in that artist boot camp. They're happy because they're progressing. If you're on the couch, you're not progressing.
So now, this whole interview or conversation, it's just exuded confidence. And
which is something I've worked on.
Yeah, and that's what I was gonna say. I've seen you grow in that. I mean, it's always been there, but I've also seen you in positions where it's like, ooh, I see the vulnerability, which we want to see that, and we've been allowed to go on this journey with you. You know what I mean? You could have shut everybody out. You could have got negative, but instead you embraced it all. Even in other scenarios, but being someone who has this level of confidence, and when it comes to things like dating or when it comes to putting your personal life out there, how do you manage that? Like, how do you manage like even engaging with someone, or like, cause you, if the idea is like every song, or not every song, but some of the loudest things that I hear is like, Saweetie need an 8-figure nigga, or she don't want to mess with, like, and it's like.
But it's like it's not a necessity. It's a preference.
Right. But even again, because that's confident, but it's like, is that challenging for you to where it's like those moments of vulnerability, or where you have to live your life in front of the public and everybody has an opinion about who you are and what you are? How do you deal with that?
You know, one thing that I'm really happy that my parents taught me as a kid is to never pity yourself. Never pity yourself, especially for things for which you ask for. Like, I signed up to be a quote-unquote celebrity, to be a public figure.
Right.
So there's a point where we all have to realize that it comes with the territory. So it's not about what's said, it's about how you handle it and how you digest it. So it's like, for me, I'm having to learn how to put up this bubble. Like, I'm gonna receive all the positivity, and I'm gonna peep what y'all do, and I'm gonna peep what y'all say when it comes to the negativity, but I can't let that affect my life.
Yeah, they always say if you live for the praise, you gotta die by the criticism. But in that sense, like, I feel like, and tell me if this is true for you or not, you almost have to be a politician. You almost have to.
I always tell my team that. I said we are campaigning to be the president right now.
Yeah, you always like, but on the contrary, when you get to it, like, when's the last time you walked in a room like this? Or, I mean, to me, you've always been the same person, but now you gotta think about what you say. Now you gotta, like, dude, you can't just talk shit. Like, you can't just say what you want to say, to where it's like, damn, if I say this, such and such, if I say this about my family, I'm gonna get a phone call for this. If I say this about being pretty, my fan base over here gonna think that, like, so now everything that come out your mouth when, on the block or when you was in college, you be like, this bitch said this and this, and then you can't do that. Like, or you are, because I'm gonna tell you, like me, I've tried to practice. I don't say anything that I feel like I wouldn't say in front of millions.
Right.
Like, everything that, because I feel like at some point somebody's recording me. Somebody gonna say that I said something, and I try to, like, staying solid is something that I merit, that I wear as a badge. Like, yeah, fuck yeah, I said it. I said it. Like, and if I didn't mean to hurt your feelings. If it hurt your feelings, I apologize for that. But I still fucking said it. I'm not gonna say I didn't say it. Show me where I was wrong. Tell me what I did. Like, let's be adults about this. But that comes with consequences. Like, I'm living proof of sometimes where my mouth get me in trouble all the time. But at least I'm the type of person, like, fuck it, I fucked up, my bad. I'll say it, like, but especially in someone in your position who's continuing to, like, your trajectory right now is insane. So now you got to be even more careful on your campaign, because now people want to see you slip up. And they waiting to watch this interview like, nah, she said this. Nah, it was last time she said this, and now she's saying this. Like, how do you manage that?
I'm human.
And just like,
I'm human.
But do you get to be real? Do you get to be human, or are you?
I think there was a point in my life where I had to accept that I have to speak my truth and I got to stand on it.
Right.
And then also, for everybody who's listening, like, everybody makes mistakes. It's just we're under a microscope, so y'all are able to intensify the situation.
I make a lot of mistakes.
I mean, I feel you.
Like, my mistakes are like, big mistakes. Like, people take courses on my mistakes. Like, right. So it's like, at this point.
But it's just like, nobody's perfect, and only God can judge you. So at this point, like, if someone has something to say about what you said, I hope they're perfect. I hope they have no sins, and I hope they live just a completely clean life with no skeletons in the closet. Like, I'm tired of people judging other people. We got to stop doing that.
But we naturally do that. That's
but
what
we do
that's
that,
what social media is. Like, even if we're judging them for good, like, we're literally, it's a device that says, do I like this or not? You know, I'm like, that's a judgment off top.
Mm-hmm.
And then you got, like, we rack up our judgments, and we want them all to be positive judgments. But, like, judgments are currency in this day and age.
Only God can judge me. God know my heart. So
right.
People can say what they want to about
So you
me.
feel like you get to, you know, even though we on a campaign and we politicking, you still get to be the same person you've always been, and you don't have no problem, like, being Saweetie.
No, I'm a very strategic person.
Yeah.
So if I say
you
something,
play the game well. You're good at it. There ain't nothing wrong with being good at it. Like, like, you know how to, like, you maneuver your brand well. So you know, I'm gonna give them just enough hood, but I'm also be educated. I'm gonna give them just enough pretty, but I'm gonna also be real solid. And so that, I mean, that's a craft. That's even beyond music. That's really being a politician at the end of the day, and managing your brand, being an entrepreneur, because, you know, the bag come with all of this. So, and then that's why I was like, how important, I mean, even when you're showing people, you know, financial wealth and literacy in that space, how important is continuing to get to the bag, even once you got the bag?
Well, I want to be a billionaire.
Really?
So, yes.
Why?
Because it's just a goal I've had since I was a little girl, and there's not too many black billionaires in the world.
See, it's funny because I had that same vision. And it was I put myself on a timeline, and you know, you was like, yo, you surround yourself with, you know, 4 billionaires, you're bound to be the 5th, like all of that stuff. But then I was like, I also know there's a lot of billionaires that are very unhappy.
But that's the thing.
And it's like, what is even, because when you think about monetary sense, and dollars is just one measuring form of wealth. Like, you could be a billionaire and not be wealthy. So it's like,
Why?
Well, in that sense, because ultimately health is wealth, true happiness, true existence. Those things go far beyond this paper with white men on it. Like, in that sense of like, all right, we can make as much as that, or now it's digital or crypto or whatever it is. It's like, but there's nothing more important than my happiness. There's nothing more important than freedom when we understand, because really all of that really represents is freedom. When you got as much of these dead presidents that stack up allows you to maneuver how you want to maneuver. But if you go into like the Buddhist monk sense, it's like they're beyond wealthy because their happiness is to want for nothing. So if you have no wants, if your existence is so calm and so at peace, nobody's richer or wealthier than them. No matter what the numbers on the bank account say, when you can live your life in a sense to where you want nothing, that's ultimate freedom. So that's what I say, like, again, and again, I know, because I don't want to get too deep and too esoteric, because motherfuckers are sitting there trying to pay their bills. Like, yeah, motherfucker, you would say that because you got it. But when you get to that sense of like, I've seen a lot of billionaires take their own lives. I've seen a lot of broke motherfuckers sit there and play spades till 4, 5 in the morning and have the most fun they've ever had in their life, and really are happy and talk shit and free to be them. And it's like, I'd much rather be like that person than the person with the billion. So, and it's just me. Like, I stopped chasing wanting $1 billion. I'm like, that shit don't seem fun. Like, and again, I probably never want for anything. So it's like, once you make a certain amount of money, it's like, whether it's a billion. I talked to Kanye about this. It's like, he always wanted he wanted to be a billionaire so people would stop calling him crazy. He wanted to make more money than Jay. He wanted to get to such a level of money that then when people did talk shit about him, he's like, yeah, but I'm a billionaire. So I understood that. But like, to me, I was like, I'm cool. Like, my jet fly the same as yours. Like, my diamond shine just like yours. Like, it's like, it is that, why that B? Why is that B so important to Saweetie?
Well, if I didn't have any wants or needs, I wouldn't be sitting here right now having this amazing conversation with you. And then next, I just feel like I always want to achieve the highest accomplishment there is for anything that I do in life. So because I plan on having a multi-million-dollar beauty company, because I plan to have a multi-million-dollar fashion company, all of those
it's
things,
all right there in your reach.
all of those things will eventually equate to having $1 billion. And I never correlated having $1 billion to happiness. So for me, I don't put those things into the same pot.
Right.
Like for me, $1 billion, I just feel like that's just what's to come, because I'm gonna have several streams of incomes from different companies. So it's not like I'm just an artist who wants to be this $1 billion for bragging rights. I just feel like that's what's in my trajectory.
It's bound to happen. It ain't like I speak it into existence. I see that. You got all the right answers, so I gotta bring it to where we are. Because this is real shit. Because again, I think I've gotten to a space where I was like, I know I'll be fucking up just off top. And I think the crazy thing, I don't know if it was our last interview or the one before that, but I think you were probably the first person I started doing this with, and now we do this thing literally called, give Nick advice. and I've asked.
That wasn't. I don't think that wasn't me.
No, we just watched it.
Okay, it was.
Because I'll tell you specifically.
It was
about a fucked up relationship.
It was, but we're not gonna talk about that. It's a new year.
But now, like, I feel like everybody that I admire and that I feel like is at either a spiritual or intellectual level, it's in a sense to where like. There's always something going on in my life, like, and it's always on Front Street. Whether it's all my damn kids, whether it's me getting canceled, whether it's some girl on the Shade Room said this about me, and it's like, I think I know where I am with it, but I always say like, and then we could be as cheeky as we want. It's like, if you had to give me one piece of advice. And I want real advice, sweetie. I don't want to be like, keep doing your thing. Because your last advice to me was chase the bag. And I was like, all right, I get why that made sense. You know what I mean? But I was like, if you had to give me one real, as a friend, from a friend to a friend, if you looked at me and you're like, Nick, I'm sensing something right now. Let me lay this on your heart. What would that be?
Are you happy?
Ooh. See, because now you just tapped into my, like, monk shit.
No, because I walked into the room, and since you're asking me for real advice, I felt your energy.
And it's just like, what did you sense?
It wasn't happy.
It's a lot. It's heavy right now. You know what I mean? So it's like, because then it's like, again, going to like defining happiness. Because that's what I ask myself every day. Like, because I'm a person who exudes joy.
You do, which is why I was caught off guard.
Yeah, but I know how to turn it on and turn it off. And like, I'm always joyful. I'm joyful about life. But happiness is subjective and temporary. So like in a moment, I'll probably be like, because I might let something else that's weighing on me or something like that, like weigh up. Like literally, I had a baby this morning.
Oh, congratulations.
So that level of happiness,
oh my gosh.
You know what I mean?
Wow.
That level of happiness, like, of course, you know what I mean? But then it's like, there's all of the things that come with that to where it's like, well, what's my mama think? What's my grandma think? Did I tell this person? Did I think about this? I got like, so then there's all of these things that weigh of the responsibility of a father and of a man. And then you got to step back. So then that puts you in this, I'm zoned in and I forget about the true joys of what life is. So I would say I'm at a constant struggle for balance. Because I know I'm blessed. I know that. I know, and that's what, and I probably find my happiness is when I'm providing and helping others. But if I'm not doing that, or if I'm doing that and it's being misconstrued, then it's like, fuck, what am I really doing? So that's probably what you sensed. I'm like, what actually makes me happy? Because probably the things that make me happy ultimately are going to be the things that are going to.
So what makes you happy? I have to know now.
I mean, if I just get to, pretty people. nah, but like, I mean, like people, like making people smile, making people happy, making like I love women. Like that's right, a big thing. And then like that comes off as like, all right, is he, what is the word? Whether it's misogynistic, is he a womanizer? So it's like, all right, now I got to manage that space and trying to figure out how to be single but still find happiness in that. So my relationships is always all over the place. I love making money. So then when it comes to a space like, oh, it's all he's about is making. So then I got to get to that place like, oh, no, I'm just more about my energy and my synergy. And like, I say those things, but like, I'm a hustler. I'm going to go get to it. So it's a balance in every situation.
You're dynamic.
The things that make me happy can also be my downfall. And we've seen some of the greatest fall because they would say, I call it access to excess. Because the things that we have access to can fuck us up because we have an excessive amount of access to it. So that's where my balance is, and that's a constant struggle for me every day. So thanks, therapist. You know what the crazy thing is? I canceled my therapy session today.
Really?
to talk with you. So now I feel like it's all balanced out.
I know that's right.
So at Icy University, maybe, you know, the psychologist, Saweetie, can also make sure you got some MDs after your degree letters and all that. But I say that, and you still didn't give me no advice. You just made me answer my own question. That's some therapist shit.
You didn't let me talk.
That's what my therapist does. You're very good. Like, you didn't tell me what I need to do. You said, are you happy? How do you feel? Like that's what my therapist does that to me every week. You didn't give me advice. What do I need to do?
I think something that's helped for me, I feel like because we're so busy, and you can relate to my schedule because I know your schedule is busy as well. When something is making you uncomfortable or happy, why? What's the solution? I'm a very black and white person. So it's like I'll find myself being irritated by this little problem throughout the whole day, and I'm talking all the shit to myself.
Right.
I'm like, this got me. But I'm just like, I'm feeding myself negative energy. So once I identify the problem, I get to the root of it. And then once I get to the root of it, I figure out, how do I fix this?
Right.
And then after I fix it, I have peace.
Right.
But it could all be so simple, like Lauryn Hill said.
You just make it sound so simple. That's what I was saying. How you just make that shit sound so easy?
No, it really is simple. But it's just like our brains are just, there's just too many neurons in there that be doing whatever they want to do.
The neuroplasticity is going all over the place.
You feel me? It be going all over the place. But if we really just took a time from the hustle and from our schedule to really just give yourself like 30 seconds, look yourself in the mirror. I talk to myself in the mirror a lot. But it's just like,
me too. That's like my shit.
Really is.
Like as a kid, I was an only child, so I used to talk to the mirror. I used to think I was like on some Truman Show shit. Like that was the TV, that was the camera. Like, yo, you gonna, like, I still do that shit, but I mean, carry on.
Right, but it's just like, it's really A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and then fix it. It's a conversation with yourself. It's a conversation with your colleague, with your family member, but talk through it. Like, I don't know why, but we just get so engulfed into our lives to where everything becomes chaos.
Well said. See, I felt like again, usually when we talk, we have fun, we talk shit. Like, this got deep. Like, you put me on the therapy couch for a minute. But it's so encouraging, and to know, like, is there, like, what pisses you off? What upsets you? Like, what is the thing where it's like,
dirty bathrooms.
Really? Dirty bathrooms? I can understand that. I didn't think that's what you was gonna say, but just nastiness, and then having to go in there.
It's dirty bathrooms. If I'm on set, I will. Yeah.
So does Saweetie have like one of them riders now? Like, are you one of them people, like, when I come in, like, all the walls have to be disinfected with this level of Lysol, and I need green M&Ms and all of that shit? Like, what's on your rider?
I know. I just think cleanliness is
next to godliness.
God, that too, but it's a reflection of your mind. So if I'm going into something that's dirty, I feel dirty. I want to come in. Y'all are paying me to be here, so pay me.
Clean the motherfucking bathroom
to clean it. Clean it. Yes. Like, please clean the bathroom.
Y'all heard that. If you ever book it, Saweetie, if you ever hire her for a movie, a show, or whatever, make sure your motherfucking bathroom is cleaned up.
Please.
Those are the final words. It's been an honor. It's been a pleasure, as always. We always have, phenomenal conversations. And thank you for the advice. But again, much continued success. I ain't even gonna ask you when PBM is coming, because I know it's coming. But like all of the joints, first of all, the joint with you in Doja Cat with that's probably my favorite video of the year.
Thank you.
Like that best friend video, and I don't know who came up with the concept of make y'all jump off the.
Shout out to Dave Myers. We put our brains together for
Dave,
that one.
That joint, but that was my favorite part of the video on some Thelma and Louise shit. But y'all took it to a whole nother level. But yeah, much continued success. Keep doing it.
Thank you.
I can't wait to see where else you take it.
Thank you. I'll see you next year then.
Yeah, there it is. Don't wait a whole year.
But I feel like it's an annual thing.
That is true. We're on some radio. We'll see each
we'll
other
see
again,
each other,
but
I'm
probably
talking
our
about,
radio
you know
interview.
this. Every time I see you, you elevate as well. So I'm excited to see where you.
Or
you
I get in more
year.
fucking trouble. They just gave me my job back, sweetie.
Oh my goodness. Well,
but nah, it's love, and keep doing your thing, Queen.
Thank you.
Love. Nick Cannon Radio. Incredible conversations. Let's get it.